And now we are live. So I don't think anybody's watching us yet. I have a lot of viewers, but I don't know if they're going to be tuning in this late and on a spontaneous hangout like this. But I'm here with what do you like to go by?
Eric is fine.
Eric? Okay, Eric. So I'm here with Eric, and I've been hanging out with some different people lately, just to kind of get to know them and just kind of expand my circles a bit. Aaron is in a Twitter group that I'm part of, and this Twitter group is kind of compounded of all kinds of various people. But I think most of them started out as fans of Devin. Devin is AIU. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just started following Devin on Twitter, and then just met Annie and Aaron and the rest of them, and I got brought into chats, and yeah, I like Annie and Aaron. They're pretty good.
Yeah. Most of those people in that Twitter group are pretty nice people. I mean, I've never had, actually, most of the people, even on YouTube, are pretty decent people. I should say, with the exception of the majority of the people who just post random nonsense in comments. But for the most part, most of the people I engage with and who make videos and watch people who I watch, most of them are pretty decent people. I mean, if I exchange a couple of comments with them in the comment section, for the most part, they're decent people. Usually the assholes, they just kind of they get bored and go away. I'm pretty much convinced that 90% of all the people who post online are like 12-year-old kids who live in their mom's basement. At least it seems that way.
Yeah.
So all right. So how long of are you fairly new to YouTube itself, or you've been watching it for a while?
Been watching it for over a year now.
Okay.
I watch like Sargon and Ruben. Oh, hello.
Oh, hey, Red Devil, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. You I hear an echo again.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me turn my thing down again.
Thanks.
Oh shit, yeah, I have my TV on too.
All right. That's all right. Go ahead and mute yourself, though. Huh?
I said, how's that? Is it better?
Oh, yeah, I think it is. So, okay, cool. So, Red Devil.
I'm still getting used to this whole Hangouts thing. It's the first time I've used it, man.
Yeah. So, hold on one second, Red Devil, because Eric was talking about something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's okay. Because you just popped in. So, okay, Eric. Yeah. So you say you've been watching YouTube for a while now.
Yeah, the political stuff for a while. I think I got started like Joe Rogan, and then I learned about because of like the guests he would have on, like Gavin McInnes and Steven Crowder. I would like go from there, and then I learned about like Sargon and all those other guys. Though I don't really watch Sargon anymore. Usually YouTube I watch like Bong, Nightmare Fuel, Dark Matter 20.
Yeah.
20. Did you watch them? Dark Matter?
Yeah. I like Dark Matter 2525. And so is that pretty much that's quite a lot of people, but yeah. So it sounds like you pretty much you watch a lot of like skeptic atheist channels.
Yeah, when I watch YouTube, that's usually what I watch. Okay.
Yeah, I like. Go ahead.
That's pretty much what I watch.
Okay. Yeah, I like Dark Matter 2525. Have you ever seen the goddamn podcast with the Drew and TJ and Dark Matter?
No, I've heard of it. I've never watched or listened to it though.
Okay. Well, if you ever have a chance to check it out, it's hilarious. They have a lot of fun on that show. And
Yeah,
I think
definitely try.
I'm trying to remember what day it is. I think it's Is it Tuesdays? I think it might be Tuesdays. You know, I'm not too sure exactly when it is, but you can type in the goddamn podcast, and they should pop up. I can't remember. I know they do it once every week, but I can't remember exactly what days it is. If it's Saturdays or no, I don't think it's Saturdays. I think it might be Tuesdays. I could be wrong about that. Okay, well that's cool. Yeah, I like all of those people. The Nightmare Fuel podcast, I don't think I've really watched that. I think that's Reese, right?
Yeah, it's mostly Reese. He used to do like streams with Hagbard, Celine, but they haven't really done those in months now. It's usually just like doing his own streams with other people.
Yeah, Hagbard doesn't seem to be putting out a lot of stuff. I've seen a couple of hangouts that he's done, but I haven't really seen too many videos he's put out lately.
Yeah, I think he just has stuff going on in his life. Just busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, at first,
and
because I followed Hagbard and Devin, so I learned the Reese that way.
Mm-hmm. And you say you don't like Sargon, or you don't watch Sargon that much?
Yeah, well, I mean, the only video I've watched of his in the past, the interview we did with Majid Nawaz. So I don't know. This stuff doesn't interest me anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's okay.
Yeah, last year I missed This Week in Stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This doesn't interest me anymore. I don't hate Sargon. It just
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I understand. I mean, yeah. There's some people we're drawn to, and other people we're not drawn to. I mean, it's funny. From when I first joined YouTube, it's like I was subscribed to all these channels, and now I'm like maybe about 10% of them. I mean, a really small percentage of them. Red Devil, I'm hearing an echo still.
No, my bad.
Yeah, I don't know how you fixed it before. I think you turned your audio.
Yeah, I turned it down a little bit.
Okay, I think you probably have to turn it down more. But yeah, I mean, it's really funny how. I'm gonna have to mute you. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, it's funny how it can just change. You know, some people you just kind of like for myself, I just got bored with some people. And other people, I just kind of like, I don't know, it just wasn't stuff that resonated with me anymore. And so I just moved on to other people, you know.
Is that better, man?
Yeah, it is, Red Devil. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I have a question for you guys. Y'all were talking about different YouTubers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you guys fall, like, politically?
well, when I take like the political compass test, like just left to center, you know, left libertarian, left to center.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm pretty much a left liberal, definitely Democrat, liberal, but I think I'm moving towards the center. I mean, I think I've actually always been a little bit towards the center, but there are a lot of, I guess you would say, right leanings or conservative values that I've adopted as I've grown older. So I pretty much I really despise identity politics. But if I was going to label myself as something, I think I would have to label myself probably left of center or center left, whatever that is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's mainly what I mean is where you're voting, like Republican, Democrat. Like me, I'm obviously vote Democrat mostly.
Hmm.
I couldn't imagine a Republican that I would vote for. I mean, I'd vote for anybody over Trump, but I mostly Democrat.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I voted. I don't think I've ever voted Republican. I've always been a Democrat. But nowadays, it really kind of depends. I mean, like let's say if there was a strong candidate who I felt was going to be a good leader, and if they had a lot of values that I agreed with, and they were Republican, I would probably vote Republican. So what I really want to stress about that is I'm not looking at the party affiliation as much as I am the individual.
Yeah,
You know.
I'm a lot the same way, except like the party affiliation usually just is a pretty good guide for me. I'm like, well, Democrat, typically they have the same interests I do. Um, but I mean, if you're talking about someone like a Trump or a Ben Carson, like I would vote for Mike Pence over these people,
Mhm.
um, even though I hate that man.
Right. Yeah, and I think that unfortunately, I think the Democratic Party is falling into this same uh, special interest group, and I mean I think it's always politics has always been that way. But I think the Democratic Party has been losing sight of a lot of the core values that I held on to, and they seem to be moving away from those. Like
Yeah,
I liked a lot of stuff that Bernie Sanders said,
me
but
too, man.
he just wasn't a strong candidate.
Yes,
And then go ahead.
that was always my problem with him, man. It was like I really liked him. I liked the fact that he was going for uh, single payer healthcare, going to try to get government funded higher education, things like that. Thought it was awesome. Uh, right direction to move in, but he was a weak man, and like Hillary. Oh, like yeah, she's corrupt. She's the establishment. I got all that stuff, but like at least she was strong. For me, I might have different things I'm interested in than you guys, but like uh, she was strong against Russia and still recognized that they were a an enemy of the United States, and I feel like that's something a lot of people have lost since the Cold War. They don't see it that way, and like for me, the way I see it is like Putin and Russia and Putin's Russia is our fucking enemy. like I
Okay, but I got to stop you for a second. Why do you think Russia's our enemy?
uh, because they oppose us and they oppose our interests, and globally
Uh,
around the world.
okay,
Uh,
okay, but I don't understand what are you basing that on?
Well, you have, I mean, it's a lot of the same shit from the Cold War. Basically, the Cold War never stopped. Like the Berlin Wall came down,
Hmm.
but you still have Putin over there who's trying to rebuild the Soviet Union. He's invading Ukraine. He is, backing up Assad, doing despicable things, and he's a despicable man. He, has murdered his political opponents. So, I don't think we need to be friends with them, and they do oppose us. Like they have leaked our secret information through WikiLeaks. It's basically
Oh,
that kind
okay.
of shit. And
Okay.
I don't like it, man. Like just
All right.
undermining our
Okay.
the way we're
Hold
doing
on
stuff.
one second. Hold
Yeah,
on.
go ahead, go ahead.
Hold on one second, Red Devil. Okay. Do you are you okay? let me see how I can phrase this best. What do you think was behind the WikiLeaks? Do you think it was a sophisticated hacker who lives in Russia who happens to be Russian, or do you think it was actually done by the Russian government? Like
Oh,
like Putin had a hand in
you
it.
mean as far as like the election stuff?
No, no, no. I'm talking about the leaks, the
Okay, yeah,
WikiLeaks that you're
yeah.
talking
No,
about.
the leaks. Yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
I would suspect that yeah, it's the Russian government has obtained information, and
Okay.
then rather than putting it out as like, hey, we're if you obtained information like that, you're not going to release it as through your state. You're going to put it out through a third party because I mean it just makes sense. Uh, but it hurts us either way.
So are those the Hillary emails that you're talking about?
No, it's not just that. Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't really know that much about all the emails and the election stuff. Like, as far
Mhm.
as Russia involvement in the election, I don't give a shit about that. Like, it's to me, it's enough of a dumpster fire already. I'm talking more about like it's just our like military secrets and information about people in our military, and they leak it out through WikiLeaks, and it
Mhm.
does real harm.
Okay. So where where are you getting this information?
Um,
What is your source for this?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Okay, I mean, I'm just assuming that this stuff didn't pop into your mind overnight. I'm assuming you probably heard it or read it or something, saw it on a news program. I'm just wondering, where did you get this information
You mean about
about the Russia hacks and yeah.
yeah, I mean it's in Christ. It's been like a lot of different sources. This is something that I've thought for a long time. Uh, I mean, shit. I wouldn't know exactly where to point you to, but it's to me it's just
Well,
general knowledge now. Like
yeah,
you could
right.
Google it. But you've got. I mean, uh, it's just like the things that are getting released from WikiLeaks,
Hmm.
and then like I don't know. I don't even know where to begin, man.
That's okay. That's all right. I mean, no, it's yeah, no, it's okay. It's just that I unfortunately don't agree with. Okay, so actually, you know what? Let me put it this way. Let me give you my perspective on it. I think that somebody, got in, and maybe somebody hacked into the email or the WikiLeaks, and or not the WikiLeaks, who hacked into those emails and then gave them to WikiLeaks, and maybe it came from Russia. But the way that the the ISP numbers go is you can have it bounce around all over the place, so you don't know exactly where it came from. So I could believe that a hacker somewhere in Russia, because they've got nothing better to do except figure out computers, may have done that, but I don't think that it was sanctioned by the Russian government.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. What I'm not just talking about the emails or anything
Hmm.
like that. I don't think everything on WikiLeaks is Russia, releasing things or sanctioning things. I think they use WikiLeaks. To be clear, I'm not saying WikiLeaks is like a they're controlled by Russia or anything like that. I'm saying that Russia uses WikiLeaks. So basically, if they hack us and they find out some information or some secrets, something that we need to information needs to be contained. Uh, they will then give it to WikiLeaks, and WikiLeaks will release it.
Hmm.
So I'm not saying like WikiLeaks works for the Russian government.
Hmm. Okay, and so you know about like closed networks and open networks, right? So if you have information that's on servers that can be accessed from the outside, chances are anybody can hack into them.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Then if you have networks that are closed, meaning they're not accessible, like you can't access them through the internet or anything like that, then that's the safest bet. I mean, China, Russia, America, probably Israel, probably maybe some other countries that I can't think of. They probably exchange, they probably are able to hack into other people, all this information all the time. And so I'm sure that governments have networks that there's certain information that just doesn't get out. There's no way you can access it through the internet. And I think that that is the secure information. Everything else is information that basically we can lose. I mean, you know, it's collateral information, I guess is the best way to describe it. Now this is all just my assumption about it. I don't have anything to back any of this up. I'm just going by information that I have. So I'm going to be honest with you, Red Devil. I think that whole Russia hack thing is just bullshit. I think it's complete bullshit that was propagated by the Democrats to try to make the Trump election look fixed and bad. And I think it's just really been, our relationship with Russia has actually been, ever since the USSR broke up into all these little factions, our relationship with, you know, Russia has actually been improving, in my opinion. You know, and
yeah,
I think that this.
I think I don't mean to cut you off.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, my thing is, I'm not talking about like the election stuff or the Hillary emails or any of that. I'm talking about things completely unrelated to that they will hack and release, such as like information about our soldiers, information about our operations in fields of combat, things like that they give to WikiLeaks, that then they release. And it's not just Russia. Anyone can do this. Anyone could, like America probably does it too. I wouldn't doubt it. If you want to release something and not have it directly traced back to the source, you would just give it to them, and they'll put it out. But yeah, and you were talking about Russia, our relations with them improving, and I don't like that. Like, I don't like. It's not that I don't want to get along with them or I want it to be better. It's just that I don't think they have our interests in mind, and I think that Putin is a terrible man, and he for sure doesn't have our interests in mind, and he needs to be opposed. And the things he's trying to achieve in the world are awful, and it's not that I don't want to get along with Russia. It's just that I don't think they want to get along with us. I don't think they have the same goals that, and when I say we, I mean the United States. I don't think that they have the same goals we do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't see that. I mean, I don't think that. I think Russia has actually been, like I said, I think the relationship between us and Russia has been greatly improving. I think our relationship with China is still pretty bad. North Korea is fucking horrible. Middle East, you know, really fucking horrible. But really, one of the things that's keeping North Korea kind of under control is China. China is really huge now ever since Russia, the USSR broke up. China kind of is really grown as a superpower, and they're really sort of keeping North Korea in check, even though they're sort of insane right now.
Well,
And,
yeah, like they're like pretty much the main source of aid for North Korea, right?
that I'm not too sure of.
I'm pretty sure that's correct, as far as I know.
Yeah, like I mean, like, you know, for the most part, like North Korea, I believe, had China's like at least tacit backing. Hence why we never really did anything. You know, never really got into it with North Korea.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's
yeah, I do. They do get a lot of fun. Do get a lot of aid from China, though.
that's
Yeah.
a whole nother thing, man. Like, probably a bigger question. Like, I will rant about Russia, but also remember everything I'm saying right now. I'm more than a six pack in, so I I might just be rambling. But the thing with North Korea, man, I don't know. I like. I mean, maybe you guys have some fucking ideas. I like to me, it seems like there's no good answer to how to handle fucking North Korea right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit out of our league in this discussion.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I just kind of like so what I meant by China sort of putting reins on North Korea is because you see, uh, so they were saying that okay, so if America goes and starts if America like attacked North Korea, China would get involved. That's what China said. But however, if North Korea decided to go off on their own and attack America, China said that they would back off. They wouldn't do anything. So that's kind of what I meant by China was um, was kind of putting the reins on North Korea. So that's what they're doing. It was a good political move on their part because they were saying, look, don't attack them, but if they attack you, you know, hands off. That's their problem. That's their fight now. We're not going to get involved in that. At least that's what they said.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly don't think. I think he's. They're flexing their muscle, and
Oh
they've
yeah.
been
Yeah.
flexing their muscle for a very long time, and that's the frightening part because people are wondering like, to what extent are they going to flex their muscle? But I don't know. We'll have to see about that. But
It's the
Well,
just to get back to the whole Russia thing, I mean, I don't know. I think information is sort of purposely leaked and gotten out. Sometimes, like disinformation can get out. I mean, it's been a very common tactic of war. Is like they even did that during World War II. They gave information to the Germans so that they believed that there was a certain group of people who are going to be gathering over here for an onslaught, and then they came in to the beaches of Normandy, and that was purposely leaked to the Germans, but done in such a way that the Germans felt like it was secret information that they gotten.
yeah.
You know,
Sure. Sure. And I don't doubt that they may do that now, but like the kinds of things that you get off there aren't. It's not that type of information. It's just like like things that aren't necessarily between us and Russia. It's just trying to undermine us, such as like they would leak, like information about our deployments in Afghanistan. Like this is when these two units are switching out, and these are how many people are going to this area, and in some cases, like these are the people. These are the names of these people that are in this area. So it's like it's not that kind of thing of like where it might be beneficial to us, where you're gonna say like, oh, we're gonna attack this place at this time, and then like it's not really that. And I just to me the entire thing like Russia absolutely is to me in my mind they are our enemy, and they continuously try to undermine our interests in the world and have like since especially since Putin took control. He's a bad guy, and I don't like the fact that Trump cozies up to him. And like, I'll give him some credit though. Like, I liked that the strikes he did in Syria. I was a fan of that because it, was opposing Assad and who is backed by Russia, and I thought that was a good thing. But I don't know like how
yeah, that
great
was
that
also a
was.
that was a total reversal of Trump's isolationist stance. That was like one of the
Yes.
biggest selling points for his campaign was Hillary wants to establish the no-fly zone. You know, I want to get along with Russia. Why would we do that if we want to get along with
That
Russia? But then, of course, he then did that strike on that airfield.
That was
Yeah,
kind
but
of
the
did
whole.
that strike on the airfield though? It actually wasn't Assad who had done that. It was actually a terrorist group.
Who did what? The chemical attacks?
Yes,
Uh,
it
hold on,
wasn't.
no.
It wasn't Assad.
Well,
I
no, hold
mean,
on. I think we're talking about different
not.
things.
I
Are
don't
we
know.
talking about
Maybe
two different Are we talking about two different things?
I
Yeah, like,
possibly. I don't know a ton about it, but like I'm just generally opposed to Assad, so I don't know.
Okay, Eric. What? Okay, you're saying that there's two events.
well, I mean, I thought like there was a gas attack. However, like in response, didn't Trump like send 50 send 50 missiles onto an airfield
That's the one I'm
as
talking about. Yeah,
retaliation? Okay, I misunderstood.
that's okay. Okay, yeah. So what had happened was that Trump had responded to that attack, assuming it was Assad who had done it. So that's how he responded to it. However,
But
it was later found out that it was not Assad who had done that.
according to who?
We can look it up. I don't
Yeah,
remember. I don't remember the specific
is
details
it?
about it.
Yeah, that's just. Uh, yeah, it's the same way I was with the other thing earlier, anyway. So I don't know. But I forgot what I was. Oh yeah, but like another good example was of Russia opposing this was he was talking about the way Russia was talking about Hillary. The whole thing, you may have heard it, where it was talking about a lot of people were spreading it around that Hillary wanted to start World War III and wanted to like have a nuclear war and all this shit. That was that absolutely was Russian propaganda that came from Russia, and it spread to social media in the United States. And you had a lot of Bernie supporters, which, like, I mean, like I was saying earlier, like I was totally for Bernie and everything. Um, but the fact of Hillary wanting to start World War III, that was bullshit.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean there was a lot of propaganda that was just going back and forth. I
Yeah,
mean
I
one
mean
of the one
we
of
do
the
it too. We do it too. Don't get me
yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
Um,
One of the things that I was really disappointed about Hillary because, I mean, in my opinion, she was the strongest candidate. Of those three, Bernie pretty much dropped out, but
yeah,
she was the strongest candidate. She was the one who I had voted for, and the only reason why is because she just had more experience. You know,
yeah,
I
absolutely.
really don't like her, but at least she had more experience than Trump.
Hell yeah.
But she did not she did not go out and really hit the campaign trail. She just
Yes.
assumed that everybody was going to vote for her because she had a VJ. And that's what pisses me off because she didn't actually go out and say, I actually have to win the people over. That's what she needed to do. She needed to win the people over, and she didn't.
That was my biggest well, my only problem with her, because well, not my only problem. She had a lot of problems. But like the reason
Yeah.
in the primaries I was for Bernie over her is I thought, and I still think, he had stood a better chance of beating Trump. Um, just pragmatically, like he was a weak candidate, he was less experienced, but we knew and we know that he brought in more votes that weren't there before, um, the people that would vote for him, and some of them uh, from Trump. And Hillary couldn't do that. So everyone that would vote for Hillary would vote for Bernie over Trump. Like we know that. But it's not the same in reverse. So like a lot of the people that would vote for Bernie would not vote for Hillary. And some of them would vote for Trump. And some of those people, a lot of those people, were in the very key areas where Trump won in the Rust Belt because that's where they had a lot of overlap. And so for me, like, yeah, Bernie would have won, and well, I shouldn't say he would have won. He stood a better chance of winning. There's no telling if he would have won, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
I
they were.
think. Mhm,
Well,
go
they're
ahead.
both very populist in their platforms.
Mhm.
You know, like they were both about upright. I'm sorry, trying to get my thoughts straight. You know, they were both very much like I guess I guess a little more nationalistic than Hillary was. Like trying to do good by the common man.
Mhm.
Sure.
I mean, I think a lot of people liked what Bernie said, but he just, I mean, when I was in a hangout earlier with the Red Devil, this is what I was saying was that I think Bernie would have won, but he was just a weak character, and I think
Yep.
a lot of people picked up on that. You know, um, I mean,
It
I
was.
liked a lot of stuff that Bernie said, but then I looked at him and I said, I don't feel like he's going to stand up for certain things that we need him to stand up for. I
Yeah,
mean, people,
there's that whole thing, man, with the Black Lives Matter activist took over his
that was,
microphone.
yeah, that was a huge mistake because basically he just said, yes, I will give my platform over to whoever comes up and wants it. And so it was like, oh, okay, so if we're in negotiations with somebody, Bernie's just going to step down and just say, oh, okay, you guys can take it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think right there when that happened, I think he lost the election, to be quite
yeah.
honest.
I think he'd already lost it by then, but hey, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
I mean,
I mean,
that was his biggest downfall. Like you said, he was weak. I mean,
mhm,
like say what you want about Hillary, she was strong. She was a strong person.
mhm, yeah,
You know, I find one thing I've been seeing a lot recently is people still arguing about who would have won like the whole Hillary and Bernie debate. Like people are still like going at each other's throats
oh yeah,
about
yeah.
that. Like,
Oh yeah,
it's so ridiculous. Like,
it doesn't matter.
well, I can understand doing a post mortem to for the Democrats in order to improve their chances of winning in the next election, but people are genuinely getting pissed at each other about this.
Mhm.
Like, it's like it's a Hillary took the like Hillary sabotaged Bernie. Like, no, he did. Like the Bernie voters were the ones trying to like hijack the party and blah blah blah. I'm like, it's just so stupid. Everyone
Yeah,
acts like it's either it was 100% Russia's fault or it's 100% Hillary being a weak candidate, or being a flawed candidate. Like why more people didn't go out and vote for her. It's just it. I Yeah, I know. Obviously, that I'm being a little hyperbolic there, but that's what it just seems like. People are
Yeah.
arguing like it's either or.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I was just ashamed because to be a Democrat because it was like the minute that the Bernie Sanders fans lost, Bernie kind of said, okay, that's it, I'm stepping out of the race, and then people refused to let him, to let go of the candidate, and then they refused to support Hillary. And then when Hillary lost the election, everybody was so shocked they couldn't believe it. And then they went on this big, huge smear campaign against Trump, and we're still seeing the effects of it. I mean, I don't like
Yeah.
Trump, but you don't have to make up all this bullshit about him. He's you don't really have to do it. It's he's
Just let
already
the
a
man
horrible.
speak.
Yeah, he's already such a horrible candidate. It's
Yeah.
like trying to make shit look worse. It just you don't have to do anything. It's shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
like in the election, like there's so much to criticize about his presidency so far, but you know, has Trump derangement syndrome. Like it
what is
really
it?
it does exist. Trump derangement syndrome.
I've never heard about that.
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
yeah.
well, just the people who are making Trump out to be literally Hitler. Like after the whole
Oh yeah.
Charlottesville thing,
That's
how how people genuinely think we have Nazis occupying the White House.
Right, right.
No,
yeah.
this
That's
is there are
stupid.
people who genuinely think this.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the Red Devil and I were talking about that earlier. It's this. Yeah. It's this whole witch hunt thing. I mean, they're creating enemies. That's really what it is. I mean, Devin broke it down very well in one of his videos. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
Nazis are white supremacists are white people,
Oh yeah,
you
the
know,
slippery slope of Nazis to
yeah,
white people.
yeah, right, exactly. I was doing it in reverse, but it was just like, yeah, okay, so Nazis are this, and Republicans and white supremacists, and then all white people are white. So it's like, okay, well, all white people are Nazis. But it is true. It is getting to that point where people are just, they're literally, and I'm not using this figuratively, they are pointing at people in the streets and saying that that person is a Nazi, and then a group of people will go around and beat them. And this happened
Yeah,
in
I mean,
Berkeley, and I'm sure it's happened in other places, but I know
I,
for a fact it's happened at Berkeley.
I think that's also a thing that gets blown up more because, like, I mean, people like us, we're on the internet and we see this shit all the time. But like in the real world, that's not a common thing. Like like you're
It
not
is
getting
a
it.
common thing. It is
Well,
a
not in
common thing, right?
Texas. I'm
It's
from
a common
Texas, so
thing right
maybe in
now.
California, I don't know.
Okay.
Like around
Okay.
here, it's not something you're gonna see. Like you're not gonna just like uh, see these people calling them Nazis and like it's just not happening here. Like it
Okay.
does happen. I have no doubt. Like I see it on the internet. Like it definitely
Mhm.
happens. It's just like in the real world, for the most part, it's not. I don't see it anyway. I go outside, just crickets. I work on college campuses, and it's not like the SJW thing. At least, and again, I'm from Texas, so it is everything is different in Texas. So like we're
Okay.
allowed to carry guns onto our college campuses. So
Okay. So I'm
very
not
different.
talking. Right. Okay. So I'm not talking about like walking down the street and like, oh, that guy's a Nazi. No, no, no.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm talking like at protests. I was using the example of the Antifa protests that happened in Berkeley recently, like especially when Milo was going to talk, and there was a
Yeah.
man who they pointed at and they said he's a Nazi, and a bunch of people went around him and beat him unconscious in the street of
But
Bancroft and Telegraph.
you see what
Right,
I'm
but
saying though? That's one college, one event, one thing. Um, in a country of 300 million people, like it's getting blown up to bigger than it really is. I think. I mean,
that's
it depends on the area. For you in California, I'm sure it's worse there. Like
yeah,
no doubt.
yeah, but that's pretty bad.
Oh yeah,
That's
it's
pretty bad.
awful. It's
Okay,
awful, no
so
doubt.
let's put this in reverse. Let's say, that's a black guy, and then everybody goes around and beats him to death, or not to death, but unconscious.
Yeah,
That's pretty bad. Or
it's
that
fucking
person, that
horrible.
person,
Yes,
right? Or
just
that
as
person's a,
horrible. Just
or
as
that,
horrible as what happened at the Berkeley
or
event.
right, yeah, or that person is a Jew, or that person is a witch, or whatever, and then people go around and you see it. I'm trying to break it down to this sort of mentality that people can get caught up in.
Yeah, I understand it, but to me,
Okay,
it's a lot like what they're doing whenever you take single events like that and you try to like blow them up and be like this is a larger thing than it is. For me, it's a lot like what they do on the far left whenever they're talking about you know this
Antifa.
black guy got shot by a cop or something like that, and they're trying to say this is a systemic problem, like or it's something, it's a national issue. I don't think it's as like maybe
all
in
right.
certain places, but
Let
like,
me.
do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I see what you're saying. So let me. I don't believe I did say that, but if I
No, no,
did,
no, you didn't. You didn't.
hold on 1 second, Red Devil. Just calm down a little bit.
I'm
Take a
sorry.
couple. That's all right. Take a couple of deep breaths. Okay. So if I did imply that it is happening all over the place, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to say that it's getting to this point, as bad as it could, and I could use any example I want to illustrate this. I'm not saying, and I didn't mean to imply that it's happening all over the place. It's happening everywhere. I didn't mean to imply that.
Yeah, I was just projecting onto you, like,
Yeah,
like
that's
my
okay.
things I've heard from other people. But
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I didn't
that's
mean
all
to
right.
misrepresent
That's
what you were
okay.
saying.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. Yeah, but I mean, I am afraid of that type of mentality. I think it's very frightening because I think we should look into things first. I mean, and you actually did bring up a good point. It's like when these when people are stopped by the police and then they're shot to death, we see that encapsulated moment. We don't know the record of the person. We don't know what how the person was reacting to the police officer. We don't see all these various things leading up to this. We see this one moment captured in time on video. And it's very unfortunate because people then begin to run on emotion. They don't stop for a second and analyze all these various things, you know, which
Yeah,
is important to do.
and that's kind of my thing with both sides. And like I understand the things you're saying. I think it's awful.
Mhm.
With I mean, obviously, like they're beating people down unconscious for things that they say, pepper spraying them in the face. It's horrible. But I also like at the same time, whenever you, uh, I mean, not you, but like when people are trying to project that out as like this is happening all around everywhere, and then you end up getting an escalation. It's like Sunni Shia kind of shit. This was like my prediction from Charlottesville is I'm expecting like after that guy rammed his car into those people, I'm expecting the left, Antifa or Black Lives Matter, one of those groups, at one of these rallies, I'm expecting them to hit back. I'm expecting them to come in with guns or something and start killing these people. And you're going to get that sectarian kind of escalation. Because that seems like what we're seeing here is the far left and the far right are becoming sectarian, just crazy people.
Right. And yeah, and I actually agree with you. I think that it is left if it was left um, if it was left to their own devices, I agree with you. I think the left would just start showing up with bigger weapons, and then the right would just start showing up with bigger weapons. And then the left would have to come back with knives. And yeah, I agree with you. I think it would just escalate. It definitely needs to be de escalated at this point because right now it's at Antifa has been has been allowed to escalate this beyond,
Yes.
you know, they were allowed to escalate this, and that's where we made a huge mistake. And when I say we, I mean our police force. Our police force allowed them to grow higher than it is. Now there's a video that was put together by this guy named Son of Nuo. It's called Analyzing Charlottesville's Zaprotter Film, the Ford Flesher live stream. Uh, I'm going to share this link with you. It's like 54 minutes. It's not something we could watch right now. And I also want to really emphasize I don't agree with everything that this person has come to the conclusion of this video, but there's one key thing that he makes a very good point of in this video, and that is that that car that hit that woman was seen driving down a street I believe it was 7 minutes before the event happened. So this leads me to believe that this person they had absolutely nothing to do, at least from what I can see, had absolutely nothing to do with the protesters. It was actually
Well,
somebody who was driving around, probably got caught in the street and got upset and drove through them.
except they know who the guy was, and he was part of the white nationalist people,
Then why
or
was
alt
he?
right.
Sure. How did they figure that out?
Well, because they know who he is. They arrested him,
Okay,
and they
but
know what
I'm
he was doing there. They talked to his parents, and the parents said that he was going to an alt right rally or something, and So I mean, you don't know everything about him. But also, to me, the thing is, like I've heard a lot of the stuff about, well, maybe he got his window smashed in and he slammed on the gas, and like none of it makes sense to me. Like just looking at the video, the guy accelerated into a crowd of people, like
Mhm.
not just a little bit, like all the way through them. And then, like if you did that on accident, you're gonna stop and be like, "Holy shit! Oh my God!" But no, he backed up over them and then
Mhm.
fled the scene.
Right.
Like that's not. There's no excuse for that. You don't like. I mean, at the very least, that's a hit and run. I
Hmm.
mean, Jesus.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm not saying that he. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to say that he's innocent or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm trying to back it up to exactly when it was in this video. I just thought it was very interesting that this car was seen. Here it is, right here. So when was it seen? I'm playing the video right now. But it was seen several minutes before he went down that street. So again, that doesn't mean that he's innocent. What it just means is that apparently he, if he was associated with that event, he left it early for whatever reason.
Yeah. I mean, it might be. It might be not as bad as I assume it is, but I like at the very least, it's a hit and run. Even if it was on accident,
Hmm.
that's at the least. Uh,
And so okay, so you think that he did that on purpose?
yes.
Okay,
Like from the video I saw, it looked like he did it on purpose.
okay, okay,
All right, hey guys, it's getting late, so I'm gonna like head out. So thank you
okay.
for having me.
All right.
All right, Eric. Sorry about that. Sorry, we'll have to do this another time.
No, that's fine.
All
I
right,
was glad to join. Thank you for having me.
all right, Eric. Take care. So
Later.
yeah. So anyhow, uh, yeah. Well, anyhow, I mean, I just don't. I forgot exactly how we got to that point.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Um, yeah, but I mean, I think that the violence will escalate if it's left unchecked, which is the unfortunate part. Um, I also think that people have to stop running on so much emotion and have to start looking at some facts.
Yes.
That's the other part that gets me. And also this mob mentality, I mean, automatically we start talking about left and right. And we forget that individuals make individual decisions and individual actions, and they're individually responsible for it. It's, for example, if somebody you know, who who falls into my demographic does something, I'm not automatically responsible for what they do just because I'm part of their demographic. And I
Yeah.
think that that's something else that we need to, we're easy. It's very easy for us to fall into that also, just assuming that all of type A does, one person who fits in type A does something, that means that all of type A is responsible for it. No, that's not true.
It's the not all.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah,
um,
exactly. It's not
I
all
don't know if
not
you're
all
gonna keep.
fallacy.
I'm gonna. I'll be right back. I don't know if you're gonna keep streaming for longer.
No, I'm actually gonna drop it because I just
It's
kind of
pretty late.
yeah, exactly. It was just kind of an impromptu thing that I did. I was bored, and Eric said, "Hey, sure, I'll join you," and I posted the link in there, and so
Yeah.
yeah. So that's all
It
right.
was
Yeah, no,
good to
that's
talk to
okay.
you some more, man. And it's always fun to disagree about some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind if people disagree with me. I actually appreciate it because then you can, you know, because then you can find out more stuff, you
Yeah.
know. So no worries.
It was
All
cool,
right.
man.
All
I'll
right.
talk to you again, dude.
All right, Red Devil. Take care. Bye bye. Good
Take it
night.
easy.